What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Countdown Scouting Network. I'm your host, Joey Garcia, and today we are breaking down Week 6 of the NFL slate. Apologize for getting this out on a Thursday. I want to start getting these out a little bit earlier, but this is what we got for this week. So, let's get into it. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs with the Broncos on Thursday Night Football. This game was not great. Um, you know, I want to say Jaleel McLaughlin, our guy, Jaleel McLaughlin, played well for the snaps that he was out there. He still got out-touched by Javonte Williams, but that's expected. He was efficient with his carries. He didn't break any long ones, which I'm expecting him to break a couple long ones here this upcoming week if they still get him touches. But he got about 11, 12 touches this game and was very efficient with those touches. Other than that, I couldn't really figure out any first year, second year guys that really stood out to me. Sky Moore still not really doing what I was hoping he would do. And the Broncos are just Broncos really are just a mess. Russell Wilson did not play well. The offensive line did not play well. So that's all I got right there. And this touchdown was towards the end of the game. It doesn't count for anything, I think. Dolphins, Panthers. Panthers had a 14-0 lead on the Dolphins. Bryce Young was driving them down the field. Did a decent job. The Dolphins were not firing on all cylinders. You could kind of tell. And then they immediately snapped out of it once the second quarter happened. I think they only ran 7 plays in the first quarter. But then after the second quarter, it was Dolphins all day. Chris Brooks even got some run time. The running back Chris Brooks out of BYU. And the Panthers need some more weapons, really. They just don't have anyone other than Adam Thielen. And on defense, it's hard to shut down this Miami offense. So I'm not going to blame them or anything. But all the key players on Miami look good. The Ravens, Titans. Ooh, oh my goodness. So this was an international game. This was the 9:30 game. Ryan Tannehill ends up hurting his ankle. I think I don't remember if it was Will Levis. One of the guys came in, Malik or Will Levis. I don't know which one it was. Came in and this game looks rough. Derrick Henry still looks good, but it's almost that point. I mean, you're 2-4. Your quarterback's injured. Do you just kind of sell him? He's on the last year of his deal anyways. You're gonna have to re-sign him. Maybe you get rid of him and kind of, give Tajay Spears some more love, I guess. I don't know. Lamar Jackson did all he could. Zay Flowers looked really, really good. Everyone else on that offense just not good. They don't got any running backs. Their receivers aren't very good. Of course, they got Mark Andrews, who's always going to be a solid option for them. But I'm not very impressed with this Ravens team either. I think they have a chance because they got a head start on Cincinnati. Have a chance to win their division, but I don't know. It's a tough one. Sorry about that. Every single time I start recording, my cat wants to go out into the garage. So let's get into the Commanders-Falcons game. Desmond Ridder showed promise in this game, but he's not there yet. Sam Howell looked better than him, I think. Just more efficient than him, I would say. Finally got Drake London involved. Kyle Pitts a little bit as well, but that's not really. You don't really want to have 3 interceptions against a Commanders team that you should be able to beat at home, and that basically ended up costing you the game. Bijan Robinson needs to get more touches. He needs to get more touches. They need to slowly get him involved more and more, especially if they're not going to win this division, which they're close. They're in the hunt for the division, but if they're in the hunt for the division, start feeding him. If they're not and they want to kind of slowly ease him into the offense is one thing, but I mean, there should be no excuse. You got Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. Even Tyler Algier is quality. Like, you have offensive weapons. There's no excuse to be scoring 16 points. The Commanders have a decent defense. They don't have an elite defense, and you only score 16 points. That's just it's inexcusable. All right, you got the Vikings and Bears. Vikings end up winning another one, but it's kind of ugly. Yeah, they're out Justin Jefferson, um, but at the same time, you got Jordan Addison. You've got KJ Osborne, who's been sitting there. You don't have a run game, and your offensive line is not great. So that's probably why you only put up 19 points, because all Bears have to do is drop back 8 and let 3 go after the quarterback, because you know that's what it's going to be. Um, the Bears, I'll say it's a tough thing to have Justin Fields get injured. It really is. But Tyson Bagent Zero, who we talked about in the pre-draft process, I think he can lead the team to not lose games. I hope. He's a little bit of a gunslinger. He loves slinging it, and going from Shepherd University up to the NFL is a huge jump. So I think they'll lean on the run, lean on short passes to DJ Moore. Is I think where they're going to find their comfort zone this upcoming week. But I think he ended up fumbling, and they picked it up for a touchdown too. I'm pretty sure they were like in this game before that happened. But that's all right. Let's see what Bajent can do next week. Seahawks, Bengals. Bengals end up winning. Their offense still is not where it needs to be. Seattle as well. Both these offenses thought would be a little bit more efficient, a little bit more explosive than they are. And both quarterbacks really can't seem to get things going. I believe T. Higgins is still out with an injury, so Tyler Boyd is helping out. Yosevis, that was his name. I was like, Andre Yosevis from Princeton got his first touchdown in this game. Congrats to him. I expect some more things to happen for him. Probably next year if they end up getting rid of Tyler Boyd and end up getting rid of T. Higgins, if they can't pay him. I expect him to jump in and be that immediate wide receiver 2 at 6. I mean, he's 6'3", 215, 220 pounds. Big body receiver. Right, we got the 49ers and the Browns. Browns were starting P.J. Walker today. Somehow sneak out with a win. What's the guy's name? Christian McCaffrey. Sorry, my brain's not working that well. Christian McCaffrey ends up going down. I think Deebo Samuel went down for a little bit as well. And Brock Purdy's just trying to sling this thing, get them into field goal range to win. He gets them into field goal range, and the third-round kicker, Jake Moody, misses it far right. It wasn't even a far field goal. It was maybe 35-yarder. It was inside of 40, I'm pretty sure. Ends up missing it. Browns squeak out with a win because that defense is really, really good. Colts versus Jacksonville. Jacksonville puts up some points in this one. Yeah, the Colts, one, not that talented of a team. I think we're figuring it out. Not that talented of a team. And two, I think they're really going to miss Anthony Richardson. And it's not just because of Gardner Minshew, because I'm a big Gardner Minshew fan. But when Anthony Richardson has that rushing threat, it kind of hesitates defenses and it opens up holes for them to quickly get the ball out to some receivers. Right now, no one's afraid of Minshew running the ball, So he had 3 interceptions. I actually didn't see all 3 of those interceptions. I don't really know how bad they were, but I think the Colts are not a great team. I think Jacksonville's finally starting to find their rhythm on offense, so that's great. Because Travis Etienne looked really explosive. They're not using Tank Bigsby as much as I thought they were. I was thinking that maybe they were going to keep Travis Etienne on kind of a pitch count at the beginning of the year and use a lot more Tank Bigsby because they're going for the playoffs, and again, it's a guy that, knock on wood, I don't want it to happen, but he's a guy that's had injuries before. You don't want to put too much wear and tear, but I think he's getting like 25 touches a game this year. So That worries me a little bit. Saints at Texans. Texans go out and get another win. C.J. Stroud is probably going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Only person that could catch him at this moment. I mean, if they start using Gibbs, if they start using Bijan, but I mean, honestly, I don't really think there's anyone close to him right now. I think he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he deserves it. He's played really really well. Um, Trying to find some other rookies to talk about here. Tank Dell made some good plays. Chris Olave is kind of leaning into that wide receiver one role very nicely, which I know it's his second year. Nico Collins as well, third year guy, finally kind of being on top of guys. He had a worse game this game than usual, Nico Collins, but Nico Collins has played very well. Patriots, Raiders. Raiders end up winning. Patriots are 1-5. Um, I mean, is it time to let go of Mac Jones? Do you go to Malik Cunningham and kind of just tank the rest of the season and then get one of these quarterbacks? That's probably what I would do. I'd start offloading some of these guys. And the Raiders, I want to see Trey Tucker play. Where's Trey Tucker on this Raiders offense? I was excited to see an explosive guy kind of take over what they wanted Henry Ruggs to do, and just don't really see him. So Marte Mapu as well. I haven't really seen him that much on the Patriots defense. I don't know. It's interesting. Cardinals Rams. Let's talk about that one. The Rams were force feeding Kyron Williams, and what have we been saying? A lot of touches for Kyron Williams. A lot of touches for Kyron Williams. Got to be careful. Got to be careful. And he is injured right now. It doesn't seem to be too bad, but he's probably out for at least a few weeks, I would imagine. Puka Nacua, even with Cooper Kupp back, still played well, so that's great. Cooper Kupp's finding his form again. Josh Dobbs, this might be the last game for Josh Dobbs. He might play one more. But Kyler Murray is back and practicing at practice. It was a limited practice yesterday, which was Wednesday, so he probably won't play this game. But if they have a bye week coming up soon, I'm not 100% sure they do, but if they have a bye week, I expect him to come out of that bye week. What is it, week 7 right now? If their bye week's like maybe week 9, that's just a guess. Then week 10, we could probably see him playing, which, I mean, again, if they're 1-5, do you really want to play him? And next thing you know, say they win one of their next 3 games, and you know they're 2-7, and then he comes back and he wins, 5 of those games, 5 of the 7, the rest of the other 5 of the other 8 games that they would be playing, and now all of a sudden you're you know what I mean? You're 7-10, and you're picking at 12 instead of picking at 4. Like that kind of sucks, but I understand why they'd want to do it. The Eagles versus the Jets. Man, the Jets snuck one out here. They really shut down Jalen Hurts. This defense is probably the best defense in the league, I would say. But other than that, I mean, Jets didn't really do much on offense. Zach Wilson's playing okay. Offensive line's not playing bad for the Jets either, but this is just not a good Jets team. They're a feisty Jets team with an elite defense. That's about it. It's usually first to 20. Sadly, Eagles couldn't score 20. Lions versus Bucks. The Bucks finally get shut down. Rachaad White has been a disappointment, not only in real life but in fantasy as well. Sometimes you'll see a guy not doing well in real life, but he's getting the touches where he's doing well in fantasy, and that's not really Rachaad White for me right now. So I'm a little disappointed with that. Jared Goff is a stud, man. They won that trade, the Matt Stafford trade, even though, yes, you could say the Rams won as well. They got a Super Bowl out of it. Matt Stafford hasn't played poorly or anything like that, but Jared Goff on the contract, a younger guy, he's just kind of that guy. I'm very impressed with them. Amon-Ra St. Brown's a beast. I don't know how he lasted to the 3rd round. We're going to have a lot of receivers in this upcoming draft class that are going to end up lasting to the 3rd round. Everyone's going to say, how did he last to the 3rd round? Brew McCoy, maybe. Think of Makai Corley. is another one. What about Troy Franklin might be dropping a little bit is what I'm seeing. Xavier Worthy because of his size. Like there are so many receivers out there that can be third, fourth, fifth round picks that can have, you know, this kind of career. I see. The Giants versus the Bills. Giants lose another one. They are 1-5. This offensive line stinks. This offensive line is so bad that it's terrible. They don't have any weapons. Like they have receiver. What's his name? Jalen Hyatt. Where's he? They just don't have weapons. They don't have an offensive line. Saquon Barkley can't really do it all himself. But the Bills, dude, the Bills couldn't score points until the fourth quarter. Like this, I don't know. This Bills team's not the same Bills team that they were last year. Yeah, they shut down Miami a little bit, and their offense looked better against Miami. But for every other game they've played, they have not looked good. And to finish things off, Cowboys finally get another win against the Chargers. Cowboys are 4-2, and everyone's kind of crapping on them. Dak's not playing great, but he's not playing terrible. A win's a win, especially against a Chargers team that was in the playoffs last year. This Chargers team, I would fire Brandon Staley. I don't know why Brandon Staley is still coaching this Chargers team. It's terrible, man. They are terrible. Yeah, that's all I've got for today. Apologize that it came out a little late, and also I'm trying to quickly get through them, so not really giving much information about each of the games. It's also hard for me to watch all the games again. I talked about it in the college football breakdown that we had last week. This weekend I was very, very busy, so I apologize about that. But if you guys enjoyed this, or you think you might enjoy anything in the future, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, and then put down in the comment section anything about any of these games that you thought I missed. So appreciate you guys' time. Have a good day. I will see you guys on Monday for Mock Draft Monday. I got a special one coming out. So peace.